very good morning to you, Grenada. It's the 19th day of September as the month zips right along, folks. Can you imagine? Short while from now, everybody's going to be singing Merry Christmas, and all that stuff. Folks, interesting morning for you this morning. First of all, we're going to take a look at some advice from the Royal Grenada Police Force, eh? Well, you'll have to wait and find out in just a minute. And then, of course, we have the national report from the GIS that came in last night. And today, we ask the big question, are the wars coming down? You're going to find out what that's about in just a wee bit. I'm going to play you a clip of a conversation I had with the man who's spearheading the protest down at Silver Sands, gentleman by the name of Randall Robinson. Yesterday afternoon, I zipped on down to Grand Anse and had a little chat with him. But first things first. The Royal Grenada Police Force is reminding the general public, and in particular motorcyclists and riders, that it is an offense to drive or ride on a motorcycle without wearing protective gear. According to Road Traffic Amendment Number 2, Act 26 of 2017, and I quote here, no person shall drive or ride on a motorcycle unless wearing protective gear designed to protect the person driving or riding on that motorcycle. Such protective gear is prescribed by regulation and must conform to certain standards as stated in the Road Traffic Act Protective Headgear Order 2018. While several persons have been arrested, charged, and or ticketed, the RGPF is concerned about the continued prevalence of this violation of the law, and they're encouraging persons to cease and desist this practice. Those found in violation upon summary conviction may face a fine of $750 and imprisonment for 3 months. Okay? The cops say that they're going to continue to take action against persons who are bent on violating the law. All right? Now, so that's it. My message from the cops on this Wednesday morning. Now, guess what? The Grenada Tourism Authority sent me a little note yesterday. Looks like the new cruise season is going to get off to a start with a real big bang. It will officially open its doors for the 2018-2019 cruise ship season on Monday. Yep, that's this coming Monday. If I'm not mistaken, that's 24th. With a call from Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Breeze with a passenger capacity of 4,428 passengers and a crew capacity of 1,386. She's going to be in port from 6 p.m. She's going to be in port from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. And the Tourism Authority has promised that they will provide the full cruise schedule very shortly. Now, the reason why I said the season is getting started with a bang, it's because 4,400 people, that's a pretty chunky cruise ship, eh? Pretty large cruise ship. And then you have a crew of 1,386. So you're talking about 5,000, almost 6,000 people on board that cruise ship, huh? And she's going to be spending most of the day from 9 a.m. until 6. If you would like to have a look at that ship, I suggest that well, you're on the site already, the GrenadaBroadcast.com website. So just take a look at the story that we published there yesterday. Man, you wouldn't believe the stuff that's on that ship. Take a look. You'll see what I mean. Now, it's 5 minutes after the hour. Let's move to Silver Sands. Yesterday afternoon, I guess about 2 o'clock or so, I received a phone call telling me that the controversial wall down at the Silver Sands was being taken down. Yeah. Okay. You've been hearing a lot about that in the last few weeks. Not just on radio and television, boy, but let me tell you, the internet has been inundated with content. So I grabbed my good old trusty smartphone and I rushed on down to Grand Anse, expecting to see lots of jubilation. There were a few persons there, and they appeared to be in some degree, I guess you might say, degree of consternation, some uncertainty, if you will. Apparently, they were under the impression that the wall was being taken down, okay? But they then learned, at least it seemed, that only part would be taken down. The person who is actually spearheading that protest, which is currently underway, a gentleman by the name of Randall Robinson. Randall was down there, and I had a little chat with him. I bumped into him and asked him a couple of questions about, what is really going on. Here's the conversation we had.
Yeah, as far as you understand, what exactly is going on?
Well, George, it seems like they have gotten somebody to break down what is probably in their mind to be the offending structure. There are other structures along here. George, we have no idea what it is. I mean, we see a wall coming down and we're very happy that at least something has started. But as to the extent of it, there's nobody from physical planning down here to be able to say to people how far back those walls have to be broken to or anything of the sort. We're not trying to be difficult, but if it is that this process has to be guided by something, and physical planning would have made some sort of recommendation, and I suspect it can't be us. It was some recommendation that was made by physical planning that would have caused this to start to happen. So the developer has gotten somebody to start to break down the wall. We hope it's all of the walls, and we hope that they go right inside, because we will see where the construction started of these walls is fairly new, and we hope that it goes right the way in. So we'll have to monitor it, and we still have to reach out to physical planning to ask physical planning exactly what those recommendations were and what we as the stakeholders and those of us who own the beach, what should we expect?
And while you're talking about taking down the walls down the road, I see like they're doing some work right here, which looks more like building or creating.
Well, that's another wall, and you'll see, George, it's next to a drain that they seem to have done something about a drain that was taking the water out from the hills or wherever. And you notice it's settling all around here. They have built this structure for whom? We would like to know, and it's obviously to cross the water that comes from the drain. We see a set of aggregate there, so they're probably going to be building something else there. But what is that wall for? And then they dig out so that the water, whatever comes down, could go directly into the beach. Which everybody was saying was responsible for the algae bloom because of all the nutrients. It used to get naturally filtered. It's not filtered anymore. So it comes directly into the water. So we could expect another algae bloom there with all the rich nutrients that go in to feed it. So, George, we need to hear from physical planning exactly what we should expect from this project and from the developers with respect to resolving these issues on the beach.
All right.
Okay, so there you have it. That's the conversation I had with Mr. Robinson yesterday afternoon, and that must have been about somewhere between 2:15, 2:30 or so. Now, I only spent about 15 minutes at the site, but as you can see, up to the time I left, things were still pretty much indecisive, up in the air. So I told Randall that, maybe by the end of the day they would get some additional information. And I promised him that I would call him this morning to find out if there were any new developments. Well, he's going to be talking with us live this morning, right after we take a look at the national report. And the national report will be coming your way right after these messages.
So, babe, Alberto and Beryl come and gone, right? So that means we still have Chris, Debbie, Florence, Michael, Patty, Sarah.
From the looks of it, Tony and Valerie might be coming as well. So we need to pick up some extra hurricane supplies.
You don't know how many hurricanes will be coming this season, so you need to be prepared. At Hubbard's Hardware and Building Supply Departments and the Food Fair supermarkets, everything from canned foods, flashlights and batteries, to plywood, tarpaulin, lanterns, roof repair kits, water tanks, etc. are available. For over 90 years, we've helped you prepare for and recover from storms. Hubbard's is an integral part of your hurricane preparedness plan. Get discounts when using credit and debit cards.
Easy living should be convenient. With Grenneck, it is. Dial 237 for any Grenneck department, or for customer service, streetlight outages, or if it's unsafe to trim a tree near a power line. For streetlights and service issues, please note the pole number. From just about anywhere, you can also check your bill balance and other account information. Just keep your Grenneck access number handy. Dial 237 for Grenneck. It's that easy. Grenneck, energizing our Grenada.
Co-op Bank cares about your financial future, which is why we want you to join us on Thursday, September 20th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center for our first National Growth and Investment Dialogue. Come and be enlightened on seizing opportunities to grow your wealth.
Grenada Market has now introduced the Prime products to online shoppers in the UK via amazon.co.uk. Zebrapick, Nutmed, Bourbon-Day and Mobiback are now available, with more products being added gradually. These products are shipped across the UK and Europe free of charge for Amazon Prime members and backed by Amazon's reputable customer service. Avoid international shipping. Buy in your local area. Amazon.com in the USA, Amazon.ca in Canada, and Amazon.co.uk in UK and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Prime Minister says moves to have CCJ as Grenada's final court of appeal is urgent. Details to this story and more coming up in the national reports. Welcome back with the news in details. I am Wendy Edmond with the national report. Grenada's Prime Minister says the move to accede to the CCJ as the final court of appeal is an urgent one. He was addressing students at the T.A. Marshall Community College during an interactive session with former CCJ President Sir Dennis Byron. Sir Dennis, who is in Grenada as the country prepares for the November 6th referendum, will also deliver the keynote address at the first public awareness meeting organized by the CCJ Advisory Committee at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. The meeting is designed to create greater awareness on plans by Grenada on its accession to the CCJ as this country's final court of appeal. Government believes that since the CCJ bill received the majority of votes and attracted the most attention at the last referendum, it is fitting to reintroduce the process.
There are persons who may be concerned as to why are we back here at this time? What is the necessity? Some are stating, what is the urgency? I think I would want to say this. This is as urgent as you could find it.
Dr. Mitchell cautioned against politicizing an issue that is of national importance. He says acceding to the CCJ will demonstrate our true independence.
This is not a political issue. It's unfortunate when issues of national importance are before us. Sometimes petty political interests come into play. This is beyond and above partisan political interests. This is not an NNP issue. It is not an NDC issue. This is a national issue.
Sir Dennis spoke to the subject of biasness of judges. He says the CCJ engages in sessions that will tackle these problems.
I've been involved in judicial education programs, and we know that every human being has biases. When you become appointed as a judge, you don't stop being a human being. And we pay a lot of attention to that. In our judicial training programs at the CCJ, and those in which we have a chance to give, we devote sessions helping people to identify what their biases are.
The Caribbean court system is back to a state of normalcy following the devastation of Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017. That announcement was made by Chief Justice Dame Janice Pereira, DBE of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court on Tuesday during the special court sitting to mark the opening of the new law year 2018 to 2019. The legal fraternity in Grenada joined its counterparts in St. Christopher and Nevis and the rest of the OECS via simulcast. Chief Justice Pereira said the court system in several islands were hard hit in 2017, resulting in the cancellation of the new law year opening and various court procedures.
The court building, as well as the residence of the High Court judge, received some damage. The court facility was forced to remain closed for several weeks whilst repairs were made and utility services restored. This physical interruption, though, did not prevent the hearing of urgent applications by telephone and video link as soon as telecommunications were restored by the direct routing of hearings to a judge located in St. Lucia. Full appeal hearings were also conducted in person and via video link from St. Lucia. Today, the court's facilities are once more fully functional and were first to resume full operations after the storm.
In Grenada, High Court Judge Madame Justice Paula Guilford called for proper court facilities to be given high priority to address the many challenges faced by the fraternity, including the backlog of cases.
It is about time that proper court facilities are constructed or a suitable building designated to house the courts. No longer should the court staff be placed in cramped and unbearable working conditions. No longer should our legal documents be left to decay because no proper arrangement has been made for their storage. No longer should there be uncertainty as to whether one would be able to sit today or any other day because the facilities that house the court may not be conducive for its purpose. The health and safety of all court users must be a priority.
The opening was guided by the theme, Challenges, Opportunities, and Resilience. The ECSC paving the way to a modern and efficient judiciary for the Eastern Caribbean. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The house was shaking. Then suddenly saw we hear bang, crack, and the roof had gone.
Man, I was so scared, I nearly wet myself.
Only those who have lived it can truly understand the devastating fury of a hurricane's wind.
The house across the road just get up and roll over.
Hurricane force wind. It's a hazard. Hazards. Take control. Reduce your loss. You can hurricane-proof your home. For example, make your roof more wind-resistant by using screws instead of nails in its construction. Find out more about hurricane force winds and other hazards at your local disaster office.
A message from the National Disaster Management Agency and SEDERA.
Welcome back with the National Report. Grenada has welcomed its 90th group of Peace Corps volunteers. The first batch was received in 1967, 6 years after the Peace Corps was originally launched by U.S. President J.F. Kennedy. Of the 17 inducted on September 6, 2018, 12 will remain to serve in Grenada, while 5 others move on to St. Vincent. Annette Moore has the details in this report.
I promise to foster an understanding of the people of Eastern Caribbean. I am a Peace Corps volunteer.
Thank you.
Class of Eastern Caribbean 90, my new colleagues, who stand on 89 generations of volunteer shoulders. I wish you the best life can offer and success in the work for peace.
Triano spoke to the volunteers at the induction ceremony on September 6th, along with other officials.
45 years and over 400 volunteers later, through their unstinting efforts, U.S. Peace Corps volunteers have left indelible footprints in almost every sphere of our society. It is therefore with distinct pleasure that on behalf of the Government of Grenada, the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, that I extend a warm welcome to the 12 volunteers comprising the 90th group of Peace Corps volunteers to the home of the oil drum, Grenada.
With the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into bringing all of these people in here, putting them in schools, finding places for them, and then getting all the materials that we have to get in order to make changes. So we definitely appreciate everything that you do for us.
I look at each of you and the faces that you present, because you will be the face of America. You will be the ambassadors in your community. You will be the people who show Grenada what America is all about and what we stand for.
During the ceremony, certificates of appreciation were presented by the principal officer at the U.S. Embassy, Stephen Fromm, to the local homestay providers who volunteers live with during the initial stages of their stay. Volunteers also took part in a fun exercise demonstrating their new Grenadian dialect skills and knowledge of culture. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
And that story ends the National Report for today, Tuesday, September 18th, 2018. From all of us in the newsroom, I am Wendy Edmond, thanking you for viewing.
All right, tell you, we're back now, and rather than going to a commercial break, I'm going to go directly to the telephone because we do have Randall Robinson online with us. Randall, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, George, but you're a little distant.
I'm a little bit distant. Let me see if I can get closer. I'm only kidding. Randall, listen, at the top of the program this morning, I played that conversation that you and I had yesterday down at Grand Dance. Has there been any further development since I left the site yesterday?
Well, George, there was nothing further yesterday when we would have left there. But I got a report from someone who usually goes to the beach every morning, the crew. And what was reported is that only that area that we looked at, that the wall was taken down. Now, if you would recall, there are at least 2 or 3 other walls along there that would be, according to law, on the wrong side of the law, so to speak. Those have not been touched. And again, in speaking with the gentleman who was doing the removal of the wall yesterday, one got the impression that he was of the view, and I suspect other people, that where that green fencing was, you remember where the green stuff is hanging up, that is the boundary that they are working with. In other words, they believe that that is all hotel property. Now, if you would recall, you would also have seen that the grape trees, which we all know are planted along the beach and public space, fall within those so-called boundaries that he would have indicated. So it feels like even some of our grape trees are being held hostage by this developer. George, we really need to hear something from physical planning about what it is they have discovered, where the breaches lie, and what needs to be done. They cannot be silent any longer on this issue. It is bothersome to Grenadians, not just at home, but many Grenadians abroad. And more people are calling for some sort of clarity or transparency with respect to what is taking place on the beach.
You know, yesterday when we were there yesterday, I'm running some video now. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but it seemed to me that while it appeared that some work was being done in removing the wall, they seem to be taking their very good time. There seemed to be no haste, and I thought to myself, well, if in fact they are removing the wall, then it should be done by Christmas, eh? But let me ask you this. I heard some mention made that you folks were actually giving them a deadline at the end of this week. Is that right?
Yes, we want the offended structures to be removed by Saturday.
By Saturday. Now, if that does not happen, what next?
Well, George, the developer has started a process. We would like to hear from them during the week as to what it is that they have started, what it is they intend to do. We need to hear from planning exactly what is what. These things may take a little longer than perhaps Saturday, but we need to know what it is so that an informed decision can be taken. People are really angry, and a lot of people are expressing the view that if the thing is not taken down in a reasonable time, even by Saturday, that it needs to come down right after that. If it has to be done by us, the public, then so be it. Now, nobody wants to get into a situation like that. So we are asking the authorities and the persons who are responsible for minding our business, so to speak, to come clean, let us know what is taking place, and to do their jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Another question. There has to be some future planning. You guys are obviously thinking ahead. And I've often asked myself this question. There are a lot of international agencies that keep a close eye on us because they give us a lot of grants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In the event that you don't get the sort of cooperation that you're looking for from government, from the investor, from whomever, physical planning, have you guys considered drawing to the attention some of these institutions just what's going on here?
Well, actually, on Sunday when we was there was a gentleman who had come down and indicated to me that it's probably time for a Twitter posting or something like that, because reaching out to these international organizations that are about the heritage, protecting heritage and so on, and the environment, and basically looking out for heritage issues across the world that we have to probably name and shame. Now, that is a last resort. Nobody wants to get to that because, we understand what the project means to us as Grenadians, but we don't expect that people will be breaking the law. Interestingly, George, I listened to you could probably see it on my Facebook page. There was an interview with the developer and the Prime Minister probably last year or year before the project started, and the gentleman indicated that he was not interested in interfering with the patrimony and heritage issues of Grenadians. As a matter of fact, he said that the project was supposed to be very environmentally friendly, and that he was going to be building far from the beachfront. So far that he was expecting that the beachfront was going to increase rather than decrease. I can't understand the disconnect between his words then and what we see happening now. So somebody needs to tell us what is taking place down there.
Randall, in all fairness, I understand that he probably is a man of his word. I don't know. I never met the gentleman, but I understand that, there were some concerns about some gas tanks being located right adjacent to a school in the area, and I understand that those tanks have now been removed because one of our local newspapers made some news about it.
Yes, I heard that as well. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not trying to overexcite you, but maybe there's reason for hope. Maybe later on today, and I know that you have a meeting at 9:30, so I'm not going to tie you up, but I hope that you get some better news today. Keep us informed on what's going on.
Yes, well, George, we hope that good sense will prevail. We hope that, this is the start of something that is going to see an end to what we see as the illegal breaches or encroachments on the beach to everybody's satisfaction. But what is concerning to us, George, I saw a report, let me just say quickly, from Callistra Farrier, who pointed out that the government said they would be issuing a statement on the matter, but they will not be taking questions. And I don't believe that. That has to be fake news because I don't understand. They are responsible for answering to the public for what they do in the public sphere. How could it be that this particular issue is one that has cut across all kinds of lines and has the Grenadian public very, very interested in a solution, in some resolution to this thing for everybody, and that the developer, operates within the law, and the government is going to come out and make a statement that they will make a statement, but they're not taking questions on the issue. It begs the question as to, what are we doing and what are they saying? So I'm really hopeful for a peaceful resolution to this matter. An amicable resolution, because peaceful, when you say peaceful, it suggests that there's going to be some sort of thing that is not peaceful, and that's not what we want. So I'm hoping that the government does the right thing, that the planning authority does what it's supposed to do with the law, and I'm hoping that the developer and his agents or whoever abide by the decisions of the people of, abide by the law. Let's put it that way. Abide by the law.
Randall, you mentioned that government needs to be accountable, or words to that effect. Let me give you a reality call here. I think those days are long gone, my friend. Long gone. But at least you can dream. Take care, Randall. And
thank you very much, George.
We look forward to hearing any further developments as they come in.
Yes, thank you, George, and to all your listeners, thank you very much. And for those of you who are buoyed by what we have seen as a start to the demolition, thank you very much for your support. We continue to leave the petition in the public space, so wherever you can, sign it online or physically, because it's still relevant. Thank you very much, George. Take care.
Okie doke. Randall Robinson. He's probably just outside of a meeting that he's supposed to be attending at 9:30 this morning. And let's see here, it's 9:34. Sorry, Randall. Let's take a little break, Pilgrims, and we'll come on back and wrap it up.
Insurance Company. Strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company. Tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive. Motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary. Public liability. Professional indemnity. Directors liability. And wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody. 237. If you wanna check the Grand Lac balance on your phone, or report a faulty line near your home, if there is an emergency, take out your phone. These are 3 numbers that you should know. 237. Call me anytime. I'm always on the line. 237. Just call me anytime. I'm always on the line. 237.
Conveniently located in the Grandand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Alrighty, folks, just about time to pull the curtain down. However, I never like to leave without acknowledging those of you who have taken the time to chime in with us. And I see a note here from Chester. He's out there watching in Switzerland. Louise Nyack Francois. She says, "Hi, George. It's your avid listener. I'm out of the island for the time being. However, I do appreciate your coverage on the Silver Sands issue and other topical issues. Great broadcasting." Thank you very much, Louise. There's a note from Randall. Randall must have been on his way into the meeting when I called him, but he checked in as well on Facebook. Ryan says hello, and Earl Maitland says, "Where is physical planning? The Keith Mitchell regime doesn't answer to the public, even though they are being paid to serve the public." And then Ryan says, "Accountability, transparency, and inclusiveness in government? Nah." Hey guys, thanks a lot for chiming in. Spread the word that we will be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And we certainly hope that you will be able to join us for the next edition of Good Day, Grenada. You have a wonderful day, and may the good Lord bless and keep you. Just bear in mind how much He loves you. So long.